So 3 words are like my trigger words or my power words: digital products, AI, and VI. But today we're just going to focus on AI tools, because if you're thinking it's just ChatGPT, you're wrong. So I'm going to give you an overarching introduction to all possible AI tools that you can use in your business, whichever niche you are in and whichever product you're trying to do. I know we're just getting started. There are so many different tools that's going to really, really blow your mind with the possibilities. It's just endless. Your brain will be like, oh my God, I have to play with it now. DALL-E, which is another AI tool for creating images. And I used Opera for the second one, and the answers were so different. Okay. So Opus.pro, this is a free tool for so many number of hours. So you still get leads while you sleep. You still get customers while you sleep. You still get invoices paid while you sleep.
Hey everyone. Welcome to Pivot to Thrive podcast. This is your ultimate destination to elevate your mindset, marketing, and sales strategies for ultimate business growth. I'm your host, Dr. Priya, and I'm here to inspire and guide you on your journey to financial independence. My mission in life is very simple: to empower entrepreneurs like you with simple, actionable insights and easy to implement strategies that will transform your online business into a thriving success. Now, here's the deal. If your current strategy in life or business isn't working, don't quit. Just pivot. And it's important you understand that the goal for pivoting life and business isn't just to adapt and survive, but to truly thrive in growth, success, and abundance. So, in this podcast, we'll dive deep into the mindset shifts you need to break free from cultural barriers and embrace your true potential. We'll discuss cutting-edge marketing and sales techniques that you can apply to your business right away. Together, we'll create a powerful belief system that'll guide you towards the life you truly desire. So, grab a cup of coffee or even a fancy glass of wine, and let's start pivoting towards the success you've always dreamed of.
So as you all know, today's topic is going to be supercharge your social media marketing with AI tools. So not too much about me, but just an introduction, because it's good to know who's teaching you, why I do what I do. I come from India. I've been in Australia for 8 years. I was an academician by profession. So the prefix DR, I tend to show off because I spent 5 years of my prime time to get that prefix. I did my PhD in bioinformatics. So I used to be a university lecturer back in India, moved to Australia, moved to Darwin. That was my first introduction to Australia. My first job was with Bet365, dealt with Australian punters. So I had a very interesting integration into the Australian culture, I must say. And then why business coaching was because when I saw Australia having very, very late retirement age, I was like, I don't want to work till 66, because in India it's 55, and culturally children take care of parents. And here I was told I have to save up for my funeral insurance. So you can imagine the culture shock I would have had. And that's the reason my search was to find ways to make money without trading time. And that's how I ended up in the online business world: low capital, low return on investment. And business coaching still comes under a very, very wide umbrella. So I would like to call myself a digital product strategist, meaning adding any service-based business, you can add some kind of a digital product. So you still get leads while you sleep. You still get customers while you sleep. You still get invoices paid while you sleep. So that's pretty much what I do from a broader scale. So 3 words are like my trigger words or my power words: digital products, AI, and VI. So I use a lot of tools, AI tools, every day in my business. My VAs use them. So I've got a team of 19 functional VAs. Like, I've trained 33. Retention is 50%. That's sad. But I've got a team of VAs back in India that help me with all the implementation. So that's why I don't call myself a business coach, because I'm not just advising. I also place a VA in your business to work. So it's advice plus action. So 3 words: digital product, AI, and VAs. But today we're just going to focus on AI tools, because if you're thinking it's just ChatGPT, you're wrong. So I'm going to give you an overarching introduction to all possible AI tools that you can use in your business, whichever niche you are in and whichever product you're trying to do. So that's a little bit about me. So I said, I want an engaging session. So this is just a general question. What do you think is the most powerful tool in the world? Just quickly in the chat, please. Otherwise, it's really, really boring for me talking. Blair offers learning, design, and health. Dane in food and beverage. Okay. Online scraping, craft supplies. Okay. Okay. You guys are smart. AI, but Lindy is the one who got it right. So no and if used to be. I'm saying used to be because I think it's going to be replaced pretty soon. So according to the internet, if and no are the most powerful two-letter words, but we know that AI is already taking it over, or it's going to take it over very, very soon. So when you think about AI, there could be multiple emotions associated with it, and you always have a choice to what kind of emotions you want to associate yourself with. So the very first one, which is predominantly most of the population, will be like, I don't want it. I hate it. Even before trying it, they just bury their head under the sands and they just don't want to know about it. If that's you, there's no judgment. That's okay. We'll try to change your perception in the next couple of hours. Or this could be you, very, very confused with the overload of information, multiple, informations that you get from multiple sources, completely confused and overwhelmed. Or it could be really, really scary because the AI technology can be very scary because you can actually replicate your face, your voice. So all the deep fake technology, especially in politics, they really project some really high skewed data in terms of US politics with deep fake technology. So if you're scared, I completely understand. But this is the reality, right? People do say, hey, I'm afraid of AI, but then they've got a robot cleaning their floors. So we don't realize a lot of things. Or some people like me are excited. They're like, yay, I'm going to conquer the world with smart work and not hard work. So I'm all about time saving. So time is the most expensive commodity for all of us. Like how much ever we spend, even the billionaires, one thing they can never buy is time. So time is something that I really value the most. And with AI, you can see how much time you can save running your business or even starting your own business just with AI tools today. Like literally in a few hours, you can execute things. All right. So this is the kind of excitement. It's actually a GIF file, but for some reason it doesn't work. But the excitement is real when you start using AI for the first time and when you see things happening on the go. So a lot of question that I get asked is, will I lose my job? And I would only say if AI can take your job, if that's the skill set you have, and if you believe it can be replaced, then definitely it is. Whatever you believe about you is right. But I would say the future is going to create a lot of jobs, but more AI related jobs. Instead of bioengineering, what I did back in 2005, it's more about prompt engineering. So that is the way to go. So definitely AI will create new jobs, but it'll be more interesting, more creative than the very, very conventional streams of jobs and roles that we have seen till today. So who are you today? Because we will revisit this slide at the end of the session. Right now, genuinely, honestly, I want you to tell me, what is your thoughts? Who are you? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Very quickly. Well, we've got 4s. Okay. Some 2s, but mostly 4s. Very good. 2 and 4. Okay. We've got a mixture of anxiety and excitement. Okay. That's understandable. All right. Good. I've got a good audience today. Easy sell. I'm not going to hard sell you on AI. So whatever is our reaction to AI, whether we are scared, whether we are excited, whether we are overwhelmed, we are currently, as we speak, heavily influenced by AI without the term AI. Your Netflix recommendation, there's a stats in the next slide that'll tell you how much Netflix revenue has boosted because of AI infused recommendations. Because you watch this movie, watch these movies, your Spotify recommendations, your Google Maps accuracy, all the wearable devices like Fitbit and Apple Watches that you use, your financial data with all the bank apps, completely everything is AI integrated. You just don't have the term, but the backend algorithms and machine learning processes have AI integrated in them. So we are heavily, heavily driven by AI. You realize it or not, we are already deeply inside the AI world in some kind or the other. I just wanted you all to know that irrespective of what you feel, you like it, you hate it, it's going to stay. So it's not my prediction, the general prediction in the business world. There'll only be 2 kinds of businesses, the ones that embrace AI in some sorts, are the ones that just bury their head under the sand and they'll be out of business, because we have known businesses when we were little kids don't exist today because they don't change. They don't adapt to changes. They don't listen. It's called social listening to the market, listening to the market trends. They don't listen to it. And that's why they're not in business anymore. So I'm not here to do any kind of fear-based marketing, but I'm just letting you know that's how the world is driving. So it's better for us to at least know what's happening and just try and pick and choose what works for you. You don't have to use all the 100 tools I'm going to show you today. You can just pick one or two that you can actually implement in your business that actually matches your requirement and that will save you time. It's all about saving time. That'll be the focus of everything that I say today. So I want to show you this little video because the amount of skepticism people had about internet back in the 1990s is very, very relevant as we speak about AI. We think we would have never thought things that we're doing today before 30 years. If you'd have said I could actually swipe my watch and pay bills, nobody would have believed that before 30 years. They would have said idiot. So I just want to have a quick rewind because we're going to look at graph of change. So this is a little video.
What the hell is that exactly? Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information. Right. So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
It's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, radio ring a bell?
Okay, that was just a little reminder how people mocked at internet and how people compared, I've got a radio, why do I need internet to actually watch a baseball game while I can listen? So this, we've come a long way. I'm sure all of us were alive at that time. And now just a little reminder to look back and see how much things have evolved and how silly that video is now. When we look at it, we're laughing. So similarly, in the next, I wouldn't say 30 years, in the next 5 years, 6 years, the way the changes are moving, we will be laughing at things that we said today. So this is a little research article that was published about how the human progress or the evolution with adaptation to technology has changed. So we're talking about the Stone Age, we're talking about the agricultural revolution, then industrial revolution, technological revolution, and internet. You can see the graph has steadily growing. So it took its time to adapt and pivot and change. But suddenly, this is where we are at the moment. And the graph has literally taken off. So in the last 6 months, I've been using ChatGPT since June of 2023, if I'm not wrong, or August of 2023. I'm not sure. But in the last 6 months, the amount of changes it's undergone, it's massive. Even for me, it was used that one platform to see how much the functionalities have changed, how much functionalities have been added. So this is the reality of the graph of how much things have changed. And this is just a unit that says, so I don't want to become too nerdy with that. But the fact is we are right here when we don't know how much has changed or what's the road ahead. Literally, this is the scenario for most of us. Even though I use a lot of tools, I still don't know 99% of what's happening. So literally, it brings me to this quote. We are on the edge of change comparable to the rise of human life on earth. It's that very, very significant time. I tell people, this is the most exciting time to be alive with the changes in technology. You can do things what none of them could do 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I want to publish a book. There's one click. I can publish a book. Okay. If I want to do anything, create a video without showing my face, I can still do it. So all these technologies are there for our benefit. It's definitely for betterment. Obviously, every technology has its pros and cons. I'm not here to discuss and debate about how good is it, how bad is it for humankind, but I'm just going to embrace these technologies very, very specific for marketing, for businesses. Let's just keep it to that particular context. So all of us are here at this stage, not knowing that we have a very, very steep learning curve ahead. I don't want you to fear, but I just want you to know that the changes that have happened in the last 12 months has been massive in every industry you can think of because of the integration and adaptation to AI. So I just have a few stats for you just to show you how big is the global AI market. It's estimated at almost 200 billion. And they're predicting by almost next year, we'll have 97 million people working in the AI space. So every company, every industry will have some kind of a component. Even, I don't know if you realize, every software you use, every tool you use has changed to integrate AI. Canva, Adobe, Windows, documents, everything has this prediction of the text. Gmail, you start typing an email, it autofills for you. That's AI. That's generative AI. So everything that you use already has AI integrated in it. So when I say these many jobs will be created, so every specific domain will have people working on these specific aspects of technology. And like I discussed about Netflix, it's literally making money in billions just because of those personalized recommendations. You can think of your online shopping, eBay, Amazon, because you bought this, people buy this together. So all these e-commerce 2.0 wave, especially during COVID, really, really skyrocketed because of these AI suggested recommendations. So in any e-commerce world, definitely AI is going to be a game changer. And 83% of the companies, they're already very much pro AI, and they're trying to find strategies on how they can integrate AI in their operations. So every business at every stage will have to or will be forced to by some kind of AI integration. All right. So that's a little bit of what is in the world. Okay. It's just for our knowledge on what's happening in the world and why it's important to understand, especially when it comes to Australia, because I work with lots of mentors in the US, part of peer mentoring groups in the US. And I definitely feel, please correct me if I'm wrong, Australia is very, very highly resistant to change management. And that's why all these American coaches come and do events in Australia and get a lot of people from here just with one word. Their marketing is just tall poppy syndrome. That's all they say. And every Australian put their hand up. Yes, that is it. So for me, it's more about adapting to change is really, really hard. We show a lot of resistance and fear. So I just want to clarify a few things when it comes to AI. So please do not associate it with any kind of fictional characters and all these superpowers and transformers and things that my boys watch. It's definitely not AI. Okay. And it's definitely a broad topic. AI is more of a technology than just one particular product or one particular process that you can point out. So the disadvantage, it's definitely very, very confusing. It's surely not robot, but many people think it's like a humanized robot. So this is just an explanation that I want to give. If you want to think or associate a robot with AI, it's more of a container or the physical shape that it takes, but the brain, the function that actually the robot does is more AI. So AI is the technology that drives that particular function. So we've seen about these robots in Japanese restaurants and things like that. So the AI will be going and delivering food for a particular table, and the path to take, the path recognition, recognizing things on the way. So those are AI driven, but the visual of that particular instrument is the robot. So that was just a clarification I wanted to give. So when we talk about AI, I want you to understand we have literally scraped the surface. So there are 3 different types of AI. The narrow intelligence ANI is the very, very basic form, which is where we are at right now. Okay. Which is the human is more powerful. We are the brainy ones, and we created these algorithms and tools that can actually make our life much more simpler. And ANI is actually directed towards one function, meaning if you want to convert a text to a video, that's one tool that'll actually do it for you. If you want to convert a video to a text, like captioning, that's one tool. So it's very, very narrow in its functionality, and it's kind of a basic AI. The next one is a generative intelligence, general intelligence, which is on par with human brain. Okay. And then the super intelligence is where it overtakes us. So Elon Musk in his recent tweet suggested that by 2029, we will have most of the AI technology overtaking human brain. So we're not there yet. We are literally still at the ANI stage. So do you agree it's time to adapt with this introduction? Give me a yes or a no. Is it high time to adapt? You're not late to the party. Definitely not late to the party at all. But do you think it's time to adapt? Yes. Yes, definitely. Adapting is good with all the changes, and everything changes. Right? Change is the only thing that's permanent in the world. So yes, adapt and innovate. Brilliant, Lindy. So adapt and innovate. So what are you going to innovate? What tools will help you innovate is what we're going to see today. Thank you for that. Cool. So when we're trying to adapt, when we're trying to change, obviously there's going to be this curve, right? So you can be an enthusiast, you can be a visionary, or you can be a total skeptic. So wherever you are, there's no judgment. There's no right or wrong answer. You just find your way into this. So today's session, I want to introduce you all to the broader scope and things that you can do with AI. And then you can go in and specialize and do whatever you want. Okay. So going into the topic for today. So that was just an introduction. I'm very, very bad with time. When I start talking, I can't shut up. So please ask me questions and make me shut my mouth. So today's topic is all about social media marketing. So when we say social media marketing, I am not sure pre-COVID, but post-COVID, if your business or your brand is not online, then you're not in business at all, because the world has changed so much to adjust and adapt to the online platforms and online presence. They even validate whether you're real or not with the help of your business, with the help of your Facebook page. But it's interesting how every business in Australia has a Facebook business page, because it's like an unsaid rule. Like everyone should have a Facebook business page and website. We spend tens of thousands of dollars on website, but does a website bring you clients? Do you have the right strategy to capture leads? Do you have the strategy to convert a lead from a cold lead to a warm lead to a paying client? So I'm not even going there. That's a topic in itself. But I want you to understand, today I'm going to talk about building your brand. We've got a personal brand. And if it's a business brand, it still comes under the brand strategy. So I want you, so the questions that you have regarding your brand, I want you to make a note and do the brand strategy with me. So we'll be doing some exercises today. I want you to do these exercises very, very specific for your business. So I wanted to actually send you all the workbook before, but I didn't know the audience. So I didn't want to overwhelm you all with a 30-page workbook. Download ChatGPT. So we'll do it on the fly. So probably depending on the feedback this time, I will tweak my talk for the next one and make it more workshoppy, but I was not sure about the audience and what level of understanding you have. So it's going to be a slow integration, but going to be massive value. Okay. So we're going to talk about more about building your brand in social media. How do we do it and all of that? So when it comes to personal brand, if you are an individual and if it's your personal brand, then definitely user generated content where you show up, you're the face of the brand, which is very, very, very powerful. Okay. But not a lot of us are comfortable sharing our face on camera, recording a video. Okay. So there's lots and lots of things that might stop you from putting yourself out there, because most of us, yesterday I listened to this quote in my networking group. They say most of the businesses remain small businesses because they think they are small businesses. It's a very powerful, maybe I'm not framing it right, but that's what it meant. You're a small business because you believe or you think you're a small business, right? You think small, you don't dream big. That's the whole point. Especially when it comes to showing your face, putting yourself out there. We don't get a lot of support from friends and family. That's universal. It's not just Australia. It's everywhere. That's the case. But all I want you to think is get rid of that limiting belief if you can. If not, you are in good hands. You're going to learn about all these different tools that will help you to create videos without you showing your face, without you scripting the video. You don't even have to do the voiceover. Okay. So there are lots of content that you can create. So now if you go and type faceless video niches or faceless marketing, that's big on trend because of AI. The faceless marketing concept has gone really, really big. And so that's on trend. So if you don't like showing your face, well, you've got a huge niche that's waiting for you. Now, when it comes to brand strategy, I want you to be very, very clear on what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. That's very, very, very important. So before I go, the reason I don't just teach you the AI tools is because AI, I consider that as more of an accelerator, meaning if you don't have your business foundations right, you will fail faster. Okay. So it's not a magic pill. You just introduce an AI tool and your business will just go shoot through the roof. It's if you have the foundations in place, then it'll really fast track your success. I really want that to sink in for a second. Okay. So I want you to understand that if you have the right processes in place, if you know exactly what you're selling, then you have all these different tools that can back you up, that can fast track your success. But if we don't know what we're selling, if we don't have a clear marketing message, then none of the AI tools can help you. Do you agree with me? Just give a little thumbs up if that makes sense. Thank you. Okay. So it's the whole point. I want to set the expectation right. If we don't have the foundations, no amount of AI tools will help fix it. So you need to have your business basic foundation right. So the one that I have in the background, that's called my Power Pivot things. So it's Power is an acronym for product and pricing. So you need to be very, very clear about the different products you are selling and at what pricing you're selling. And then O stands for online and offline presence. So whatever you're going to sell, your marketing message has to be very clear and uniform from your online and offline. And then the next one is called lead generation, warm lead generation. Like I said, you've got a website, but do you have some means to capture leads? Do you have some methods to nurture your leads and convert? That's W. And E is evaluating sales process. I've gone to retreat pages that I love and I want to pay and sign up for the retreat. But guess where they take me to? A Calendly link to book a call. And in my mind, I go, I don't want to speak to you. I want to pay and attend the retreat. So if there is a client who is really, really potential prospect who wants to sign up as a client, you need to have a sales process to sell, because we always have this judgment around selling, but selling is not bad. Selling means serving. If you're not selling, you don't give them an opportunity to work with you. So evaluate your sales processes in place. And last is about retargeting your existing clients. This is where we leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table when we do not retarget our existing clients. You might have a service that will take them from point A to point B, but you have a service that takes them from point B to point C. Every level is a new devil. So do you have services to match that? So that's kind of the little bit of audit that I do. I want you to understand at this stage before we go that if you don't have the basic thing, when we talk about brand strategy, you need to be clear on who you're targeting, who exactly is your target market. Go very niche. If you're saying women, that's very broad. Australian women, even broad, in a particular age bracket. So it was good earlier to just target the demographic of your ideal client, right? Just their gender. Gender is a very, very debatable topic these days, and also their age, where they live, and things like that. So the psychographic is really, really important. So demographic is a very broad topic. So psychographic, understanding what kind of content they like to consume. Do they listen to podcasts? Do they watch YouTube videos? So what is the type of things that they consume? So I want you to do a little exercise now when it comes to brand strategy. Okay. So who is your ideal client? Be very, very specific. So the demographic and psychographic. What is the exact problem you're solving? And what's your target platform? Okay. So I'm going to type it in the chat. Who is your ideal client, demographic, and psychographic? I want you to go back home with a clear roadmap for your marketing and which platform you want to use, what type of content you would like to create. If you're someone who writes blogs, go for it. Why do you want to attract new followers on Facebook? The why is very, very powerful. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Otherwise, you will just be wasting time, right? If we're not clear, every post that you post on social media should have one clear targeted outcome in your mind, whether you want them to follow. So your call to action would be follow my Facebook page, follow my Instagram, follow my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So there has to be one targeted outcome for every particular post. Most of us say, hey, social media does not work for me. I'm like, did you have a plan? Did you know your purpose? Okay. Becoming better known to lift profile. Okay. So I have 3 I's. Okay. So you can see here, income, impact, and influence. So you're more in creating more influence for your personal brand. That's good. If that's your one outcome, then all your marketing message will only focus on uplifting your personal brand and attracting your ideal clients, right? So I know there was somebody, she called herself Millionaire Mama or something. So her target clients were mums who want to be rich. So all her marketing messages were targeting, the branded handbags and fancy things. So I would never work with her because I'm not her ideal client. Okay. But she attracts 30,000, 50,000 women who actually are her ideal clients who are interested in that. So the way I see it, your ideal client is you 3 years ago. Okay. Exactly 3 years ago or 2 years ago, the problems that you had is your ideal client today. That's how I see it, very simply, without doing too much work. Engage more with the community so they're willing to come to the community center. Okay. Facebook and Instagram. So we will look at different strategies to market. So at that time, you can find out what kind of content will attract the community. For you, I think it'll be more about educational posts, but we'll look at them. Learning content, which has more impact on different kind of learners. Okay, cool. Thank you. So let's move on, but do the homework for every stage. So you are really, really getting the most out of the workshop. Okay. So the reason I asked you these questions is because I want you to understand that before you post, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. So you might as well repurpose it on multiple platforms, because if one platform shuts you down, then your business might, a lot of people, right, who put all their eggs on Instagram or TikTok. And if their page is gone, their business is gone. They have to start from scratch. So the psychology of lead generation. So a lead is someone who could be your potential client. Okay. So I use the word lead a lot because that's the whole point. Every effort you put in should be to attract leads. If not today, down the line. I've had people sign up after 2 years of attending my meetup event, right? So that's the kind of impact you create in people's minds. So they will warm up to you and they will come and they'll close themselves. You don't have to do the hard sell if you do the work right. So every marketing effort, someone somewhere sitting in the world has to find you relatable, or that's how the social media marketing works. Like two things. One, they find you relatable and they'll be like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it too. You give them that reassurance. Okay. And the second one, if she can do it, she can help me do it. Okay. In terms of a service based where it's an electrician, for example, right? So it's not like they can do a DIY, but why choose you over hundreds of electricians in your suburb? So there has to be one point that would build that know, like, and trust factor. So that happens via social media a lot, right? So when it comes to lead generation, the psychology of the platform is two types. One is long term. Like you can never, I wouldn't say never, but most cases, post a YouTube video and sign up a client the next day. Okay. YouTube is more of an evergreen platform. So I have videos that I posted back in 2019. Still people view it and still I get AdSense revenue. Still I get leads from it. So YouTube is more of a long-term lead gen platform. So I want to have correct or realistic expectations when you do it. And then email list, blogs, podcasts, they're all long-term lead generation. So choose at least one long-term lead gen for your business. Email list is great. I'm not good at email list. I don't writing emails. I don't buy from emails, so I don't believe. And I want you to also think about this. So the way you buy is the way you sell. Okay. Let that sink in. When you do social media marketing, your energy matters a lot. If you don't pay $1,000 for a product, you cannot sell $1,000 for a product because you don't believe in it yourself, right? So it'll be very interesting for you to understand your buying behavior. Who are you as a customer? That's how you are going to be as a seller. Okay. So short-term lead generation are platforms you post something and you get clients straight away. You get some inquiries straight away. You get leads captured straight away. Instagram is my primary lead gen. 80% of my revenue comes from Instagram stories. I don't post on Instagram, but I'm very active on stories. That's where I share everything I do. And people tend to build that know, like, and trust factor. And all my engagement lead generation happens in Instagram. I used to be completely online before I jumped onto offline marketing. So Instagram and Facebook are easy to repurpose. If you're completely B2B, LinkedIn is highly suggested and have a short-term lead gen. So I want you to write down what is your choice of short-term lead gen platforms and long-term lead gen platforms, because we will be using all these to create prompts then we go and try ChatGPT. So I want you to be clear. So first, I want you to be clear on who is your ideal client, what is the problem you're solving, and then we're going to choose long-term lead generation platform and short-term lead generation platform. Am I too fast? Is this pace okay? Just say in the comments, please. I don't want to be too fast. Okay. We're okay? All right. Thanks. Okay. Facebook, Instagram, email. Okay. Email, Instagram, Facebook. Good choice. And that's pretty practical as well to do it. So when you say email list, then I want you to think about some ways that you capture email list. Okay. When you do a blog post, people just read the blog and they'll go. So how do you capture email list is by giving them so much value. I believe in this. Like when you do even a free event, when you're giving something for free, you have to make people feel so guilty that they got so much out of it. It's always value before dollars concept for an easy sell. You don't have to do the hard sell. I don't try to convince people to work with me. I'm like, this is what I do. And if you need me, you know where to find me. I just leave it there because there's no point in me trying to push you to understand whether I'm worth your money or I'm worth your time. So you have to strongly believe, yes, Priya, I need your help. So that's the kind of work I do in most of my free trainings. And that's your perfect way to generate leads. So you're not manipulating, you're not scamming people. You have to provide massive, massive value to make people feel guilty that they actually got it for free, right? So this is another very, very important thing. Now that you've decided the platforms that you want to actually start your marketing, your products and services, I want you to decide on the content ideas and brand pillars. So there are two things here. Brand pillars are things that you strongly believe in, your values of your business. And 3 is always a sweet spot. All right. So brand pillars for me is always financial independence. Okay. Financial independence. I strongly believe if you make an individual financially independent, you really, really make them or position them in a better place to handle any curveballs life throws at them. So financial independence is very, very important for me. And the second thing that I always work is identity crisis. As women, we wear multiple hats. We go through identity crises in some shape or form. I can relate to the migrant crisis, right? I don't know where to draw the line. I'm an Australian by passport and document, but I've lived in India for 30 years. So where to draw the line on how much Australian I have to be, how much Indian I have to be. So that kind of identity crisis I go through, even in business, because I was not born as a business coach. You know, I used to be an academician. I used to be a university lecturer, and then pivoting and creating a new identity for myself. And especially in the online world, because it's so volatile, we can change our niche and offer multiple times. So at that times you feel like a fraud, you know. So I was selling something else yesterday. I'm doing something else today. So there's a lot of identity crisis we go through in the online world. I might have had a bad day, cried my lungs out, still show up on stories and motivate others. Once I shut my camera, I'll feel like a fraud, right? I've had a shitty day, but I just showed to the people the nice thing, which happens most in social media, right? So you go through identity crisis when you are in the online world. So one of my brand pillar is identity crisis. Okay. And third is multiple streams of income. With online businesses, you can easily generate minimum 3 to 4 streams of income. So these are my 3 brand pillars: financial independence, multiple streams of income, and identity crisis. So I want you to write down what are 3 important values. Why do you do what you do? I want you to note down your 3 brand pillars and core values. And then let's get into the type of content, because every content that you create will somehow tap into this. And we will feed all of this as a prompt. Okay. So one person we can take as an example and we'll feed it as a prompt and we'll see what kind of output we get. So what are your 3 core brand values or core values for your business? If it's your personal brand, it's your values, or if it's your company, what is the core values of your company? So just write that down and then we can move on to the content types. If you're done, just say done in the comments so I know I can move on. Even this sticker, it's very generic. You see, helping people, engaging with community, sharing info. Why? What do you want to help them? For me, helping them make money. That's it. So it's very, very specific. So we'll get into more specifics, but I want you to think very specific. What do you want to help people with? There are organizations that help women get out of DV. There are organizations that give food parcels. There are organizations that help with homelessness. So helping people is a very, very broad umbrella. I want you to niche it down and think about 3 things very specific. The more specific you are, the better prompt you can create and the better output you get. For building volunteer groups, even that should be for a specific outcome. So volunteer groups is very general and broad. Specifically, what task will you deploy them for? What example? Okay, helping migrants find employment. We should talk. Okay, interesting. Get your thinking hat on and more people in the stewardship of the environment in our area. Okay, very, very good cause and very specific. And because you're going suburb or region specific, it's even better because your target market is very clear. The activity is very clear and the outcome with the environment is also very clear. Well done. Okay, let's give it a couple of minutes and then let's move on. We've got heaps to cover. Volunteerist. I've never heard that term. Amazing. Ease burden volunteer groups face finding funding. Yeah, I think that's a very, very challenging space to be in, but we'll get there. It's all in the marketing message. Trust me. Everything comes down to marketing and how we position ourselves and how do we position our why. It's not what we do, why we do what we do. I always tell this. The reason the work I do is because my colleagues back in India who are equally qualified as me with a DR prefix to their name, put up with very, very toxic marriages because in India, culturally, they give up their career after marriage, right? So they give up after marriage or after having a child. So they lose their identity. That's why I said identity crisis is a huge thing I work on. They lose their identity. They're just mums all the time. And it's a lot of toxic, abusive relationship. And divorce is not a very common thing in India. It's culturally, it's very, very different. So that's why I started doing this. I was like, I need to help those women find their feet and do something. They can't get out of the house. They can only work school hours. So what's the option? So you can see my team in India. That's why I love the work that I do. I'm able to employ women in India, give them financial independence and actually help them regain that identity. Someone sitting in India makes almost a very, very decent 5 figures in Indian rupees, which is a good 4 figures here in Australia. So yeah, your why is very, very important for you to understand and please focus on your why. That'll make it very, very powerful. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone. Let's keep moving on. All right. Okay. So we're clear with the brand pillars. We've chosen what kind of platform we're going to choose. So what type of content to create, right? We can create, I'm not talking about reels or carousel post or static post, whatever. This is the strategy behind the post. So in general, you can have 4 different categories of the content. So you can create educational, because if I don't give you this introduction and just introduce you to tools, I don't think it will make sense, right? So that's why I always have a little bit of introduction about the different types of content, different types of platforms and things like that. Because without that, like I said, AI is an accelerator. You can fail, crash, land if you don't have the foundations right. So let's set the foundation. And then I promise by 10 o'clock, we'll get into AI tools very, very quickly. Okay. So educational, personal, motivational, and life updates and behind the scenes. So when I say educational, it's about really, really helping your clients understand the value in your offer. I always want you to think about what is in it for them. Okay. My coach calls it peacocking. Okay. You don't go there and peacock say, hey, I'm great. Hey, I'm that. Hey, I'm this. It's not about you. It's about what value you bring to the table. Okay. So what do they get? I always ask this one question, and not a lot of people can give me a tangible answer to this one question, right? It has to be solid, right? Why should your client choose you over your competitors? Okay. Give me one tangible line. Okay. I'll give you mine. There are lots of business coaches in the market who just advise. Okay. My point of difference is I help you action. I employ a VI 15 hours to 20 hours in your business. So I'm not just creating a roadmap. It's also been implemented. So there's no reason for the needle to not move. So very tangible, and they can get the value straight away. Okay. I help you save time. You don't have to do the admin work. You don't have to do the mundane work. It's all taken care of. So you can stay in your core of your business. How many business coaches in the market do you think can say this? No. So that's my very, very unique USP. I found out after being a hot mess for multiple years. So I didn't crash land on a clarity or niche down into what I'm doing today. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now, 4.5. But I kept showing up. I kept taking imperfect actions. I kept falling down, getting back again and again and again. And this is why I'm telling you, it's going to be a learning curve. And I want you to understand, don't give up, just keep pursuing. Okay. So in terms of educational, please educate your customers. You just assume that, oh, people understand it. Oh, it's an NDIS industry. What's not to understand? I'm NDIS business. No, people don't understand NDIs. People don't understand what is in it. Okay. So people love when you educate and do a non-salesy post. So it's not always selling on their face, right? Try to educate them. Put yourself in a calendar. So I'm going to give you a workbook that has content, like plug and use kind of contents for 100 days. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you the recording for this one, obviously. And then another webinar that I did about digital products. How do you do digital products? And then a workbook on how to use ChatGPT. There's a 30-page workbook on ChatGPT prompts that you can copy and paste. There's also another workbook called Social Media Content Strategy Workbook, where you can have literally 100 days of content, plug and use content. So I'm going to offer all this because I believe in action. I just don't believe in teaching. Okay. And it's completely free. There's no asterisks, no condition applied, no hidden charges, literally nothing. The reason I'm giving you is because I don't want you to waste 2 hours of your time and my time. I want you to take action. I want you to have all the resources to get you started straight away. Don't pay for any subscriptions. Just get started. It's not about all the resources, just being resourceful with what you have. That's how I started. I literally started my business with Google Sheets and Word document. Only now I've got all these systems in place. So don't let all these different technology, no fancy camera, nothing. You don't need any of those to get started. It's just in your head. Okay. So just start taking imperfect actions. That's the only message I would say, because there's no point in me teaching all these things if you're not going to go back and implement straight away. So in terms of educational content in the online world, we call it the mini trainings. You can do a mini training on stories or Instagram on how to do things. So even if you are a plumber, there are few advice you can give DIY. Trust me, the more advice, the more information you provide for free, the easier it'll be to sell your paid products and services. Okay. That's the psychology. When I go and attend free events that are so much value, I'm like, I wonder what this guy would offer for a paid container. If he's going to offer so much for free, I wonder what he'll offer in a paid container. That's psychology. That's how, so people think, oh, I don't want to give it all away. I'm like, give it all away. Be selfless. Just serve from your highest aligned self and you will attract the right audience. Okay. So example of educational content is always the how to do a particular thing, how to solve a problem in your niche, how to lose weight without eating chocolates or without going to the gym. Okay. So something very, very specific, and also tips. So that's educational. And personal. Personal is really, really, because if you're a personal brand, if people want to do business with you, they need to build that know, like, and trust factor. So they need to understand who you are. Like my audience on Instagram, they know every day what I do, my relationship with my husband, my kids, my in-laws, the food I eat. So it's all about building that thing. You won't believe, I signed a client last month worth 18 grand. He said one thing. I know him through my BNI networking group, face to face. He's known me for almost 18 months. And the thing that he said actually made him work with me is my relationship with my father-in-law. I tell people I'm the only weirdo in India who has the same amount of respect and affection for my father-in-law as my father. And he's an Asian, he's an Indonesian, and that really, really sat with him. And that's one thing that built that trust, that I'm very family oriented and I've got so much respect for my father-in-law. And when he signed up, he said that, right? So you never know what will actually help people to understand your personal values and who you are as an individual, right? So be you, be authentic. And the person, your ideal client who actually understands and values your personal values will be attracted to you. Okay. So be authentic. It would be my say. And life updates behind the scenes. This is very important for people to know. If you are just sitting in your little home office and not telling people what you do, they won't know. Now, when I'm doing this webinar, I posted on LinkedIn, I posted on my social saying, I'm doing this webinar. Why am I saying this? Because other people who might want a similar topic might reach out to me. And I'm anchoring myself as an authority in my niche, in whatever I do, right? So because I posted this on LinkedIn last year, I got a call from a lady who is managing Diamond Guild Australia. I didn't even know that association existed. She found me on Google or LinkedIn or somewhere, and she asked me to do a 90-minute session for their AGM. They had an AGM at Gold Coast, Langham, and they wanted a 90-minute session for their members as an education session about AI. And it was my biggest paid speaking gig, okay, which I didn't even advertise. But what worked? Because I was telling people I'm doing this in the AI space. This is what I train. She reached out to me and I got that gig. Now, if I think, oh, why I should tell that? Why am I showing off? I wouldn't have got that offer. So when you say life updates, business updates behind the scenes on what you're working, it'll warm up your audience to work with you. When I'm going to launch something now, I'm literally launching, I'm growing my team to 100 in India. So I'm launching a boot camp just for Indian women. So all the work that I'm doing, I'm sharing on my social. So I've got Indian following. They will sign up. So I've got 205 signed up for my webinar that's 1 month away, right? That's the power when you show up consistently, when you share genuinely, authentically what you're doing and why you're doing, you will attract the right audience. I didn't spend a dime on ads, like 205 people just with my social media following. And I've still got 20 days to run the workshop. So I'm sure I'll have at least 500 by the day of the boot camp. So literally this is possible for everyone. I'm not superhuman. I'm just authentic. I just show up. I take actions. I just fall flat and fail in front of the social media, and I have no shame or any judgment associated with it. Okay. Motivational content. Please do not reshare other people's motivational quotes. That's not what I mean by motivational content. So motivational content meaning you tell people, if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay. I even show the appliance that I prepare a batter for dosa, which is a very time consuming Indian process. I tell that to people saying, I don't come to the office, just sit here, do work, go back home. I still have kids to feed. I still do all these things. So don't tell me this excuse that I'm a mom, I can't do it. Okay. So this is just for them to strengthen their belief. That's what I mean by motivational content. You really helping them dream big and making things achievable. Okay. If she can do it, I can do it too. That's the kind of things. All right. Are we ready for the AI tools? I think we've spoken enough. Okay. In time, 3 minutes to 10. This was my plan. So the next 1 hour is going to be completely AI. Who is ready for AI tools? I'm just looking at the chats. Yes. Yay. Okay. All right. Who has worked with ChatGPT? Just type in the comments, please. Okay. So most of you have tried, used it. All right. Good. Couple of times. That's okay. So I just wanted to know whether it's completely new to you, because this one word has blown up the entire world. It's not even an exaggeration, right? AI has been, the concept of artificial intelligence has been in existence in different industries since 1950s. But it didn't reach us, the commoners, like everyday people like us. It did not reach us until this one damn tool blew up in front of our face, right? So this company called OpenAI, I want to show you this graph to give you a perspective on how long it took for every other damn platform to reach 1 million users. Netflix took 3.5 years, Airbnb took 2.5, Twitter took 2 years, Instagram 2.5 months, but ChatGPT 5 days. Can you believe that? When Threads was introduced, I was not surprised Threads grew so fast, because it was literally migrate from Instagram. They made that process so seamless, like everyone has an Instagram, has a Thread. So that's how they made it. So it actually fed on Instagram, which was already successful. So I'm not like, oh, Thread, you've done well. No, I'm not going to appreciate that. But ChatGPT, out of nowhere, OpenAI did this as a standalone platform, which was really, really well done. Yeah. So the advantage today, like I said, when I signed up, I think the paid model was called 3.5 or something. So the free version was 3.0. The paid version was something else before GPT-4 was given. And I used to be this angry mom. I hated when my kids took the phone, went on to Google and say Mr. Beast videos, right? I'm like, type it. How do you know? I've got an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. So I wanted the 8-year-old to learn spellings. So I'm like, type it, don't talk, right? So I was this person who was a believer in that. And ChatGPT, I was happy typing and prompting back and forth. And I talk a lot to ChatGPT than I talk to actual humans. I need a life outside of my work. Many people say that. But now the GPT-4 is extremely powerful because it is multimodal, meaning you can have multiple different styles of input. You can have multiple different styles of output. So you can give it a text input. You can upload an image. It can actually read images. It can take audio and video. The only thing, the limitation I personally find, if I give it a link, it has to read through the entire link and find out. So I'm pretty sure there must be GPTs to do that, but I haven't tried and dabbled on it yet. But now I sit down with my phone because ChatGPT, initially they didn't have an app. Now they've got an app. So you can download the app, sign into your same login. What I do, I've got my ChatGPT open on my laptop and I go into my phone app and I keep talking. This is my everyday night routine, right? I talk what I want to do, like sales pages and everything. I talk through that and then it'll give me the output. So I read the output on my laptop and I'd say, hey, no, that's wrong. Just go and change it. And then it changes it. So that's a game changer because you can use voice. You can upload an entire PDF document for it to read. It's really, really powerful because of these multiple modes of input and output. If you haven't used the previous versions, I don't know whether you'll be excited like me, but now I'm super excited because I used to be typing, oh my God, how long can I type? But now you can literally talk to it.
Hey listeners, before we jump back into today's episode, I want to tell you about an incredible opportunity that's perfect for those of you who are always asking these questions yourself. How can I earn more money? How do I get more customers without spending on ads and fancy funnels? How can I generate recurring income without selling all the time? How do I create wealth without trading time for money? How can I transition from being a one-person show to mastering delegation? If this sounds like you, then you're going to love our sponsors for this episode, the Pivot Mastermind, a life-changing 6-month intensive experience designed to help you launch and scale your digital empire. But that's not all. One of the standout features of this mastermind is that each attendee gets a dedicated virtual assistant to handle the admin and social media marketing tasks. That means you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business and enjoying the freedom that comes with it. Don't wait any longer. Click on the link in the show notes to apply today and take the first step towards transforming your business and your life with the Pivot Mastermind. Now let's get back to today's episode.
All right. So this will be your master slide. Okay. So if you want to master ChatGPT, we're going to look at so many other tools, but I want you to understand that this is the formula that will help you to get the best output. Okay. So I'm a teacher, right? I love teaching. I love acronyms. I love creating acronyms. So if you want to remember it in your head, you can just say CAPTEF. Okay. CAPTEF. So C is for context. You have to provide background information and set the stage. Provide a concept. What are you going to do? I'm going to launch a new course. Okay. Hey, I'm in the process of launching a new course. Okay. And give it a little bit background about what kind of course it is. All right. And then ask, what are you going to do? So what do you want ChatGPT to do? I want you to give me a marketing plan for my course launch. Okay. And then you want to really give it a role. If you don't give it a role, it can just make things up. Right. So you have to say, I want you to act as a marketing strategist who understands launch plans. Okay. Who clearly understands Australian audience, because I'm going to target Australians or I'm going to target Queenslanders. So for this one restaurant, we wanted to do a campaign, and the moment I said Australian, it's the output was good day mate and Vegemite and steak, and it's really hilarious how it kind of customizes to Australian audience. So you have to clearly specify the role that you want ChatGPT to act. And then the tone, whether you want it in a professional tone, whether you want it in a casual tone, formal, informal, all the different tones that you want. And example, it's the more information you give, like I said, whatever information you give, it'll only be as good as the information you feed. Okay. So give it maximum examples and also format. If you want it in a table format for the month, so just say, I want a 1 month content calendar, prepare it in the form of a table. Then it'll draw a table and give it. Okay. If you want it in the form of bullet points, if you want it as a newsletter, I want it as an email sequence. So you can give it any command you want. All right. So this is the basic 6-step formula that'll help you to master. I'm sure you will learn along the way, but this is more of a general context. So I've just given an example, okay, of writing a blog post. So you're writing for a wellness blog that caters to busy professionals who are looking to improve their mental health and productivity. So that's the basic context. Generate a comprehensive blog post about the benefits of meditation for busy professionals. Write as a seasoned mindfulness coach who specializes in helping professionals reduce stress, blah, blah, blah. So you can give it very specific tone. It should be very informative, encouraging, empathetic, understanding the high pressure environment, include real life benefits, blah, blah, blah. So once you write it, so I just broken it down, but this is how you will put it as prompt into ChatGPT. Okay. Now, does anyone else have any specific prompt that they want to work with? Or do you want me to show you some examples? Because it's a custom one. We're a small group of 20 people. I can work with custom requests, or I can show you the things that I have, the things that I do. Or if you have any specific prompt or task that you would like to explore, I'm happy to do that. You're okay with examples? Is everyone okay with examples? Okay, cool. All right. Let's introduce you all to the wonderful world of AI and ChatGPT. Don't accept ChatGPT for every tab open. Okay, this is my ChatGPT. I've got a dark theme. You might have a white light themes. So I've got a paid version. If you ask me, do you need one? It really depends on how much you're going to use. It's 20 USD per month. So 33 Australian every month, I think, depending on the exchange value. I find it useful because I use it every day, everything for my team and for every stuff. I'm just going to look at the chat. Okay. So everybody is happy with the things. Okay. So you won't believe this morning, 5 o'clock, I prepared for this webinar. I wanted to give you all access to the course, but I need a landing page, an opt-in page. And because there's no payment, I just need to sign you up for that course. So literally with one webinar, this is what I did literally this morning at 5 o'clock, right? So I want to create an opt-in page that's specifically for people to watch my recorded webinar, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to introduce them to the concept. This is all I said at 5 in the morning. And it created, I'll show you the opt-in page that I've done for you. AI webinar. So this is my banner, which is always there. So it gave me a headline. So this is the call to action, but this entire thing was given. I didn't want to super salesy page. I'm like, it's just going to go to a warm audience who have actually listened to my webinar. So I just wanted a few things, what you're going to get. And yeah, so I didn't even just do this. Just write it. That's it. Okay. So yeah, this is the opt-in page that I created just based off things, every landing page that I've done is specific. This entire landing page, which converted like 200 people in 1 week, was completely written by ChatGPT. So you give it a sales page. I'll say, act like Russell Brunson. I'm a big alumni of ClickFunnels University. So I'm like, act like Russell Brunson and do the sales page. So everything that I can think of. So VA challenge for Indian women. That's the challenge I'm running. So you can see this entire thread. So if you do one thread, I can go back and say it, any prompt that I want. It'll actually remember because it's in the same thread. I don't have to refeed the information. Okay. So see, I say, hi, ChatGPT. Good morning. Okay. So when you're kind and nice, you will see the difference in the output. When you're like, oh my God, you sound like a bot. You're blah, blah, blah. It'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to give you a good one. So try to be nice to ChatGPT. It's going to be a life changer. So this is where I started to introduce this is what I do. This is the thing. Say, I want you to act as world's best sales page copywriter who understands the psychology of Indian women who want remote jobs, work from home jobs, financial independence, and build confidence and identity. So these are my values, right? These are my values. I'm giving it a role. I want you to understand the Indian psychology. It's not targeting Australians, right? So I want you to understand the pain points of Indian women who want this. This is what they want, right? So Priya's VA Academy is basically a course for women, Indian women, to become virtual assistants. I've trained 33 people, blah, blah, blah. So I give the entire context and brief, and it gives me an entire sales page, banner headline, sub-headline, and are you an Indian woman earning for change? So I'll change all these words. Okay. So this is not something that I use. So there's another thing. You don't copy paste and just use it, right? You still need to proofread it. You still want it to sound like you. Like I'll never use the word, are you an Indian woman longing for a change or waiting for a change? I would use another word. So you want to make sure that it sounds like you. All right. So why join our VA challenge? So the pain points, how it works. So the sales page. So thank you so much for that. See, I'm very kind. Okay. And then I'm asking it, can you act as a sales page critique who really understands the science, design, psychology of sales page? Review the sales page copy that's been given and tell me any rooms of improvement. So you ask ChatGPT to write it. That's the role of a copywriter. Now I'm asking the ChatGPT to change the hat to a critique, but who understands sales page, right? And then I want you to look at the science of the sales page, because sales is always related to psychology and science, design, and then give me suggestions for higher conversion. So I need higher conversion. That's my outcome. So how can I improve this current copy to have higher conversion? Okay. So I'm also telling it, I'm going to be running Google ads for this one. So it has to be targeting cold audience. So I'm not going to run this for hot audience. So what if anybody who sees this will basically click and do it? So absolutely, Priya, reviewing your sales page copy from a critical standpoint, particularly with a focus on attracting cold audience, blah, blah. It is lacking clarity and conciseness, emotional appeal and storytelling, specificity. And these are the suggestions that ChatGPT has given, including addressing objections. Okay. I think it'll be good if we incorporate the word AI in the whole sales page. Like really, I want them to know that this is the best time. 2024 is the best time to become virtual assistant with all the AI tools that are in the market, right? So what it does, it goes and changes the entire sales page towards AI incorporated in the VA journey. Okay. I had my aha moment here, right? So I don't have to go and say, hey, replace everything. I just want to say, I want to tweak my content to be heavily AI driven, but for VA career, to have a career in VA. So I don't like the word AI. So you become very lazy. Trust me. You won't even feel like copying and changing it. I've become that lazy for the past 1 year. I'll just be like, can you just give me an alternate word for that? I don't like to call it a challenge. It's a boot camp. It's a 3-day boot camp. No. So it'll name it. It'll give you 10 name suggestions. I like AI Revolution Virtual Assistant Boot Camp. Now I want you to review the sales page, who understands Indian women, suggest that would help me get maximum conversion. And then it literally gives me all of that. And now ChatGPT or any, okay, how are we till here? How are we feeling with the sales? Because sales page, I believe in sales page much more than websites, because websites people tend to hop on and hop off because there are multiple tabs. Sales page are very, very driven to do that one task, sell your courses, sell something. Or a landing page. Landing page and sales page is targeted to do one thing, right? So I'm a big believer because I'm from a sales funnel university. So how are you feeling with the functionality of ChatGPT with sales funnels and copies? Yeah, you always say thank you to it. Yes, I do. I say, please, thank you. Blown away. I know. We're just getting started. There are so many different tools that's got to really, really blow your mind with the possibilities. It's just endless. Your brain will be like, oh my God, I have to play with it now. Okay. What else? Is there anything specific that you want to do before I move on to other tools? I can keep going. I've got hundreds and hundreds of case studies and example. Wording example, it helps. Yeah. So when I give you access, make sure to go use the workbook, like the ChatGPT prompt workbook. It's got complete prompts for email marketing. If you want to do a complete email campaign marketing, If you want to do a launch campaigns, it's got all these different prompts. Please make use of it. Okay. I've spent hours and hours to create it. Not for you guys. I've done it earlier. I'm not going to lie to you, but it was still hours and hours of my effort done. So please make use of it. Okay. Now that's ChatGPT, which never had this integration of DALL-E, which is another AI tool for creating images. One thing I want to tell you, it sucks. Okay, please pardon my language. It's bad when it comes to image creation, especially when it has text to it. Okay, it's got all these typos. So can you create a Facebook event banner for AI Revolution VA Bootcamp? No text on image because I know, right? And then it creates me this. I've created a vibrant and engaging. I love it. It's too pink. Can you make it professional, white and blue? And then I put this. Right? It's more conversational. You don't have to be like, what do I say? I use simple words. I'm very conversational. I'm like, hey, I don't like it. Can you change that, please? And then I'm like, I love it. Can you give me individual elements in this banner? See, I asked for a lot. Has separate image files and also the color codes. I'm so lazy. And then it's like, I can't do this. You have to do this to get the color codes. Okay. And then I asked for alternate images. So you can do all of this. All right. Now it's time to introduce you all to GPTs. Now GPTs are like plugins. Okay. If you understand plugins in WordPress and websites, they are like little functions that is based off OpenAI's concept, but very, very custom to do specific tasks. So DALL-E is one of those. So to image generation, every image generation I've tried, it's bad. Okay. I even paid Midjourney. I'm not going to show Midjourney. Midjourney I did last time, but it's a paid one. There's no free version. So I paid Midjourney. It didn't really match my expectation. It's for people who are wild with imagination, like a pink elephant in the metaverse. Then you'll have a pink elephant flying in the metaverse. That's on me. So it didn't serve my purpose. So you've got different specific ones for specific purpose. For example, writing a blog and how they said late last year, Google is going to penalize all the AI-based content. That's when they were super pissed that Bard didn't work as much as ChatGPT. But now because their Gemini is doing well, Google has said they're not going to penalize AI-based content, but still they're going to actually, there's some hesitation when you just copy AI-based contents on the websites. So to combat that, we have another GPTs that can make your SEO 99% human return. Okay. So that's still an AI that can pass that filter and say it was human return. So it's amazing and surprising at the same time, the different functionalities you can have. So go into these GPTs and find out the ones that work for you. So Sell Me This Pen. Apparently this one is getting more famous related to Etsy and Amazon listings. So if you're an e-commerce business, if you want to upload an image of, say, this cup, right? Upload this cup. It'll read that and completely write marketplace listings for you. So this is becoming more famous these days. Sell Me This Pen. So most of these are free. With the paid version of ChatGPT, you'll be able to use it. I don't know about the free version, but most likely you should be able to use them. So if you want to write ebooks in one single click, every function that you can think of, there is a specific. Now the GPT is becoming, it's kind of overtaking the app market. Now imagine how we had an app for everything. Now there's going to be custom GPTs for everything. Okay. There was interesting ones that I found about relationship coaching and therapy and everywhere. So I think the more I think about how in the future we're going, anything in the future, because we're becoming more and more nuclear family and more loneliness. So mental health is definitely on the rise. So anything to help with mental health, if you're working in that space, definitely keep going. And anything that can actually add some kind of a human connection, because we live in a very, very lonely world. That is another good niche. So anyone who is community driven, please do the good work you're doing right now, because that's where people need that community support. People need such things in the future, because we're becoming more and more isolated in a very, very loud, noisy social media world. Like I've got like 6,000 followers on Facebook, but how many people do I have to actually pick up the phone and talk? You know what I mean? So we live in such a very, very virtual world. So if you're in those niches, please continue to do it. For kids, education, there are lots of different things that you can do. So go and play with GPTs. I'm just going to leave it here because we've got so many different tools to go through. Does anyone have any specific question with this one? I've been using Jasper. I like it. Yes, Jasper is expensive. I'm starting a business as a VA for tradies. I would love to see some of your VA examples. Wow, that's a very, very good niche. I would suggest, I don't know if you know, Christy, Facebook group called Tradie Wives. So Tradie Wives is a group for wives of tradies who do the admin work. And I think they've got a membership where you can advertise and do I'm not associated with them. I've done some workshops, like a guest lecture series for them. So I know they do some good work, but that might be a good platform for you to target your specific women. Always find the easiest way. Russell Brunson has written this book called Traffic Secrets, right? So Traffic Secrets are the easiest way to tap into someone else's traffic. Like, you don't have to build your own traffic. The easiest way is to tap into someone else's traffic. So always think about where he uses this word congregating, like he's more religious and things. He's like, where do people congregate? Where do people meet? So use that one-to-many approach. Don't go targeting every individual on how to sell. Have an approach where you can target multiple people with your efforts at one time. So that'll be my advice for you, Christy. And for anyone, choose groups, choose specific meetups, groups and networking, online, offline, anything where your target audience, like for tradies, for example, that could be a perfect group. All right, let's move on. You're welcome. All right, what have I got next? These are little topic prompts I've given. I'm sure I've given it in the book. I want to leave the last half hour for questions in case you have it. So I'll do very quick questions, just interesting ones. For example, I want to learn about some topic. Like when I did the talk for Diamond Guild Australia, I didn't know anything about the diamond industry, right? So I use this one. I want to learn about the diamond industry in Australia. Please identify and share the most important 20% of the learnings about growing a diamond business. That'll help me to understand 80% of it. So it gave me all about the 4 C's, the color, carat, and whatever, 4 C's. And so in just one prompt, I kind of got the whole sketch about the diamond industry. So if you have a client meeting, for example, if you're meeting with an architect and you don't know much about the architect industry, but you want to have a good conversation, you don't want to look dumb, you're not going to fake it till you make it. I'm like, if you fake it, you'll never make it. But you need to at least have that basic information to have a quality conversation. So I do my research, I do my homework before I get on every call, right? So this prompt basically helps me to get an understanding of the keywords. It's all about the keywords, hooks, right? So you have to have a meaningful conversation, but also it should have some substance in it. Otherwise, it's just waste of time. So I'm not going to do landing pages because we did that in detail. So I've got a question on a particular topic. This is more like life coaching stuff, right? I don't do a lot of life coaching. I don't believe in a lot of those very, very intangible returns. My brain is left brain. I'm all about logics, numbers, return on investment, but I have huge respect for people who do life coaching. So if I do have a question, then I'm like, I've got a question about, say, relationship, something that's going on with me and my husband now. They're like, my question is this: how would Tony Robbins answer this question? I had a thread for the last workshop for this one, and I used Oprah for the second one, and the answers were so different. How Tony Robbins would approach that question and what will be his strategy and response, and how would Oprah Winfrey, how would she approach it? So it's very interesting. Just go play with it. Famous personality like Hitler. How would Hitler, Donald Trump? So it'll be very, very interesting to see their perspective, because the ChatGPT gets its input from the internet search, right? The millions and trillions of data that's available for how many ever years, that's been fed and it feeds all of those information. So it's literally the amount of information that's available. It creates an avatar and it responds to that question from that avatar. So it's really interesting and it's good. Okay. So this one, when I did a talk for Rotary Club here, so those members were all retired, but they wanted to learn about AI. So we were brainstorming ideas on how they can use AI. Like, they're not going to grow their business. They're retired. So I'm like, how many of you are interested in book clubs, right? So many people are interested in book clubs. So today, most people don't have the time to read a full book. Okay. But how can you have a book club? Is by using ChatGPT, you can literally get the summary of the book. Okay. You can literally get a complete summary of the book. Feed that summary. You can get the summary in ChatGPT, feed the same summary in ChatGPT and ask it to convert it into a podcast episode, and take that script and put it on different tools that I'm going to show you, and create podcasts, create videos, do blog posts. You can do anything, literally any form of content to any form of content is possible today. Okay. And if you are thinking about ways to make money, ways to build your niche, but you don't have a tangible product to start off with, this would be the best place to start. Okay. Start with what's already there. Like I said, it's not about the resources. It's about being resourceful. So start with anything that you have. Like faceless niches make thousands of dollars on YouTube because of such creative ideas. Okay. If it's a book club, take book in a particular niche. It could be fiction. It could be non-fiction. It could be about money. It could be about relationship. It could be about family. It could be about trades. So if your niche is trades, so take all the books in electrical, for example. Okay. What are electricians for dummies, whatever. So take those books, take the transcript, convert it into multiple forms of content, and you can literally start anchoring your authority in your niche. Every niche you can think of, automobiles. Okay. If you're in automobiles, you can literally focus and create so many contents today in the automobile industry, how you can help your clients, how you're different from others in the market. Okay. Ask ChatGPT. I'm an automobile mechanic and there are so many mechanics in my area. How do I stand out? Give me some ideas on how can I stand out? I'm going to use Facebook. I'm going to use Google Maps. So what are the keywords that I can use for Google Maps? So it's sky is the limit when you try to tap into the algorithm. So please do it. Okay. This is my favorite, right? This is really, really my favorite because I struggle to exactly use ChatGPT, copy paste and use it for my LinkedIn or whatever post. So I actually gave high performing the Instagram post and I said, this is my high performing post last year or 2 years ago. And I like how I've written this because that was pre-ChatGPT, right? So I want you to analyze the post and understand my writing style. Okay. And then it gave me this huge report about my post and my writing style. And then I had to concise it into a prompt. Okay. So whenever I write my content, I plug this particular bit that this is my this is my content style, right? My content style is conversational, relatable, using everyday language. I speak directly to my readers and create a sense of connection and engagement. My writing tone is always empowering and motivational, and I use rhetorical questions to provoke thought and reflection. So I always have emotional with the use of exclamation. Actually, I noticed it only when ChatGPT told me that I use a lot of exclamation marks and strong language. I don't use swear words, but I'm feeling aggressive and emotional. And I use a lot of emote icons to emphasize my points and create a sense of urgency. So, and I always use storytelling. So this is what I have plugged in my post to make it sound like me. Even then, there might be some words and things that might not align with me and I can tweak that, but this will get it pretty much closer to what I want. Otherwise, it'll be like, it doesn't match how I talk, right? So this was a game changer, analyzing my writing style. So I want you to do this exercise. Go back to the post without ChatGPT, which one you wrote and which has a lot of shares, a lot of engagement. So that's pretty much which was aligned to your audience. So copy that and say, hey, this was my top performing post last year. I want to create similar post that creates a lot of engagement. So please analyze my writing style and then create a prompt from it. So this will be a game changer. Okay. So that's about the text language model of ChatGPT. Okay. Are you ready to be blown away? This one is super exciting. Like literally one video I have here was published less than 24 hours. So you're literally the first person seeing it. I think if you're advanced than me, probably you'd have seen it. So Sora is model for video that was created by ChatGPT. It's available for people with the paid version. So it can create realistic ones. I couldn't find that video, the earlier version of Sora that was Will Smith eating a burger. I don't know if you've seen it. It was so bad. Okay. Really bad. The face would be distorted, broken, and it looked very funny. It won't even be that one. So that was like 1 year ago. And now Sora has really, really stepped up. And the prompt was given is a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket and a long red dress and black boots and carries a black purse. Look at the amount of details. She wears sunglasses and red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect of the colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk about. Okay. This was the prompt that was given to Sora. And this is the one that Sora had created. Look at the details. Look at the reflection of the sunglasses and her skin. How good was that? There's a chart. I'm trying to find a chart. It is wow, isn't it? If you try to find that other video of Will Smith created by Sora, I couldn't find it. Download it. I wanted to download the version that I can run on the slide. You'll know how far they've come with the video technology. Okay. And even better, we have the next one. So this one was literally released last night or 24 hours ago, I think. So it's a short film created by this particular filmmaker group. They are experimenting Sora, and this is a short film that they've created. And now they say it's a big.
It's so prevalent. Watch it for only $3.98. $200 off this Linsa 60-inch TV. $100 off this Ninja air fryer. Plus get the free doorbells for only $99 each. Doorbuster deals. Only at the Good Guys. Well, that's something unique. Something that sets them apart. Just in my case, it's like obvious what that thing is. I am literally filled with hot air. Yeah, living like this has its challenges. Windy days, the one are particularly troublesome. There was the one time my girlfriend insisted I go to the cactus store to get my Altageria wedding present. What do I love most about my birthday commitment? With the perspective it gives me, I get to see the world differently. I float above the mundane areas. Things different way from everyone else. I feel like it's because of that perspective I'm reminded every day that life is fragile. We're all just a pinprick away from deflation. So I try to live life with lightness, buoyancy, any luck, find a way to share them with everyone else.
So now they say that's a big threat for the mainstream media and Hollywood itself, but we know it's not going to threaten Hollywood. It's obviously going to make the competition even more better. And that's what I say. I mean, when Canva came, all the graphic designers were saying, hey, I'm going to run out of the market, going to run out of job. I'm going to go back to a job. But we still know Canva has not replaced any graphic designer, good graphic designers. So if your work can be replaced with the Canva logo, well, good luck. You could be replaced. But the ones who are skilled, we still go to a graphic designer to get our branding done, brand kit done, because it can't be just Canva logo. So yeah, that's how I want to see it. That's how I perceive it. But yeah, you can do it. Okay. So DALL-E, we've already seen. Remember the sales page images that we did? That was DALL-E. So DALL-E, you can literally use the custom GPT called DALL-E, which uses image generator. So you have to give it the prompt and then it'll generate images. So all the current sales pages have AI generated images because I teach AI and I want them to get that feel in my landing page. Okay. So I told you about Midjourney. So Midjourney is a paid version to play with image generation tools, but it's not that good. So this playground.ai is closest to Midjourney that you can get. And I did create a login. Okay, does anyone want to give like a funny imagination? So we can just give me a prompt in the chat. What's something funny that you want to say? Anything you want to say? I'm pretty sure. Okay, a koala teaching dance to kangaroos. Let's try it. Okay. And then I go generate. Yeah, I told you, I'm really, really not impressed with the image options, but there should be more options here to customize. We're on board. There we go. Okay. That's what I was trying to find out. All right. So here in this particular board, you can choose different filters, whether you want realistic ones, whether you want cartoon ones. So we can literally choose what we want. Okay. So koala teaching dance. Let's go realistic. And then it also has this option, exclude from image, what you don't want to see. So they've given, by default, you have ugly, deformed, noisy, blurry, all this I don't want. Okay. So you can include the stuff that I would be like exclude text. Okay. No text. So whatever. So we'll go with the custom ones, and you can also give image to image. You can also give control rate. So you can customize a lot. Okay. And then I'm just going to say generate. This is pretty similar to Midjourney, but I wouldn't recommend spending that money on Midjourney. Okay. This is the realistic one Okay. Can you all see it? Now let's go. I'm not changing the prompt. I'm just going to go and change it to macro realism. You can just play with it when you have time to waste. This is what I want to do. My kids attended an AI workshop, and that's what they did. Crayon.ai is the tool they learned. And my son wanted a pig sitting on a toilet seat and having some pizza with some silly thing. Yeah. So this is macro realism with all the details, and you can see that, right? So yeah, I don't know if it looks like a koala. Fun fact about me, scared of anything non-humans. So my knowledge of animals is 0. Look at this. Okay. So now you get the point. You can do crazy imaginations. You can just make your imaginations run wild with this tool and generate images. One interesting question is who owns these images? In this particular option, you can see, maybe it's too tiny. So here you can choose either speed or quality. So speed is the option for free plans, but if you want high quality images, it's a paid plan. And also if you want your images to be private, because Midjourney doesn't have it. That's why I hated Midjourney, because you're on a Discord server and everyone can see your prompt. Everyone can see the images. They can just copy and use it themselves. So I was like, that's not what I want. I don't want my images that I run for my workshops to be there in the public forum. So here, if you want to have your sessions private, then you have to upgrade to a pro version and have a paid version of it. But you can change the dimension if you want it as a square, if you want it as a rectangle, whatever you want to do, you can do with it. Can you insert your own photo, but then AI it? Yes. There are different tools. I think it's called photography.ai, where you post 20 photos of yourself, and then you get all these Wonder Woman and Catwoman and everything in you. You know, there was this trend where everybody was doing that lens.ai. Similar to that, you've got photography.ai, where you can upload 20 images and get 100 images. I just got my branding photo shoot done, so maybe I'll play with it and let you know. That's on my to-do list. But definitely there are tools to answer your question. You can AI it to whatever you want to be. Okay, let's move on. How are we tracking time? All right. Like I said, I am big on saving time, right? So content repurposing is something that I'm really, really big on. If I'm going to spend this 2 hours recording a webinar, I've got 2 hours worth of content that I can repurpose, strip the audio, put it as a podcast, right? Take the video, put it as a long form video, chop it into multiple short form contents like reels and shorts on YouTube, repurpose it as a blog post, and then market it on Instagram and LinkedIn or wherever. So there's one tool that I use personally, two tools I'm going to introduce you to. Sorry. So these two, I personally used it. Okay. So Opus.pro. This is a free tool for so many number of hours. Even I haven't paid it because I pay so many tools and I try to keep it minimal. So no, I don't know which one I used to sign up. Must be my team. Let's see. Yeah, 0 minutes, meaning we've used up the credits. It should let me see. Dashboard. So the webinar that I am giving you access as part of the bonus, I did that as a paid session, but then I was like, I wanted to create more content with it. How do I do that? I don't know, I can't find maybe it's this. So I actually uploaded that 1 hour webinar and then I chopped it into multiple reels. Oh, here we go. Okay. So you see it's a 51-minute webinar. So you upload that 1 hour webinar. It automatically does the work for you. Everything. It chops it into it's chopped it into 20 different shorts or reels. And then it gives you a topic. You can go here and download it. You can go here, edit it to choose the start and stop. You can see the caption. You can choose the color. You can choose the design. Okay. The main thing people struggle with is captioning, because Instagram caption is only for 1 minute and it's not very aesthetic. So here you can choose to add emojis. You can do your logos. Everything is done in this one particular. So when it comes to businesses, you can broadly classify them into two types of business. I can choose the words, what kind of colors it has to highlight, how many lines should be there, what type of font I want. So everything you can basically customize. If there's a typo, you can go and change it manually. You can do everything. So this is on a free plan. I think I get 90 minutes every month. And I think that's sufficient for me. If I can repurpose one webinar a month and chop it down to 24 different contents, I don't need to post. I don't post as much as I should. My team does it, leaves it here for my review. And then I'm like, okay, I have to review it. And it has been sitting here for months, right? And this is what happens. But if you're good, if you're not like me, you can definitely make the most of it. It's called Opus.pro. You can use it for free. If you want to pay, you can pay it, but I'm going to show you other tools which can be much more beneficial. So this is long form video into short form content, because unfortunately in today's world, if you're not using short form content, your content is not reaching any new pair of eyes. Only way to reach the wider Instagram, Facebook, YouTube community is by short form vertical videos. Okay. 9:16. So this does the work. I was really, really searching for something that'll actually change the dimension and not zoom in my face like a soccer ball. I had that issue, like honestly. So this one solved that particular problem. So it gives me the captions and everything. So that's Opus Pro. I'm going to look at questions. Can we get a copy of this webinar? You definitely get a copy of this webinar, whoever attends. That's why I have that Zoom registration link. So I know who attended, and I can send recordings only to people who have attended, because we had 56 or 58 registrations. Okay. Can you get images for landing pages on the free version of ChatGPT? I doubt DALL-E is available for the free version. I'm sorry, Christy. I don't know is the answer, because for paid members, obviously those GPTs are available. So yeah. What export options are there in this Opus Pro? MP4? Yes, should be. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's download HD. Okay, rendering video, it could take a while. Yeah, so MP4, usually the video format that you can use on any platforms. Okay, so the next one, this one blows my mind, and I use it regularly for my podcast. Okay, where's my dashboard? So, okay, I'm going to use this one as an example. Okay, let me use this one. So I wanted to promote this particular podcast episode called How to Overcome Generational Middle Class Mindset. All I do is go in and upload my transcript, like the file. It can be an audio file. It can be my podcast link. It could be a YouTube link, and then upload it. So what it does is, these are the different things it does. Okay. It creates the entire summary of the podcast or video based on different timestamps. Okay. This is not that great. Topics, I didn't want to generate it. These are extra minutes if you want to generate topics, because I have a payment plan for, I think, 180 minutes, 3 hours every month. So if I want more than that, obviously I'll have to pay for the higher pricing. Right now I'm on a 3 hour per month plan. So if I want to do it, I can still do it. I'm like, nah, that's not worth it. I'm not going to do it. And it transcribes the entire episode for you, and it's perfection, like not many typos, not many errors. And then you get chapters, okay, like timestamps you can give for your podcast, your YouTube. And if you want to generate titles, you can do it. This is what blows me. It gives you different titles. Obviously for LinkedIn, this is too tiny. You can't use it. The one that I love is the blog post. It gives you an SEO optimized blog post based on your contents of your podcast. So it gives you the topic. It gives you welcome to my podcast used to be called Side Hustle at 9 to 5 when I was a side hustler. Understanding the power, challenging traditional notion. Like I would never be able to write a blog post like this. Okay. So it's perfect. You can cut, copy, paste, connect with Priya on Instagram. It gives me the handle, everything. It just does. This takes literally 6 minutes or 7 minutes for this entire process to happen. And then newsletter. If you want to really send it as a newsletter, you can do it. So it has a different psychology and design for newsletter. It has a different psychology for blog posts. And the one that I love is quotes, right? So these are quotes. I love quotes. Like I told you, I don't like resharing others' motivational quotes, but I love when ChatGPT picks up the key points that I say in my podcast and make it as a quote on my own because I said it, right? So childhood conditioning and your family has a deep impact on your money mindset. Dr. Priya, I can just show off, right? So I just love this product. And my VA, actually, the one who does podcasts, she uses this one. I don't use it. So she's done all these work and she'll just put it in the podcast tool and send a message for me to go and see. So all these different podcasts that we have used this month is completely there. So this saves my VA, I don't know, days of work, right? Previously, she used to do things manually. Now I've given her access to a tool that can enhance audios, that can transcribe everything. So it's just better use of her time. For me, it's not like just to clock in 20 hours and just sit with one episode. I'm like, how can I give you more resources and make you more resourceful? How can I give you these things that will help you use your time better? So all these tools I'm showing you are things that we use in our business every day. Okay. It's not just teaching stuff. This is what I use every day. And I'm showing you my portal, my dashboard, right? So any questions? This is the best one I've seen so far. Not really. So $25 a month. So $10, you can start with, I think I'm on a $10 per month plan, 300 minutes per month. That's more than sufficient. And it does everything. Like I'm so much in love with this transcript. So go for it. Like highly suggest it. It's really good. Okay. Let's move on. So we looked at Opus.pro. We looked at Transcript. Okay. Let's go to repurpose. This one I don't like. Okay. I actually, before Transcript and Opus, I tried repurpose.io on a free trial. And then, so the problem with this one is very hard to get the actual outcome in the format you want. Okay. So this is what we had. So you have to choose a workflow like Zapier or whatever. Okay. So what you want to do. So I had a lot of my recorded webinars on my drive. And then what I wanted it to do is chop it into multiple short form content and then put it back in a folder in my drive. So that was my first workflow. Okay. Drive to drive. What it did is it was not very effective in actually chopping at the right place. And the dimensions were very off. This one, Opus.pro, you can see that it was really showing my full face. There's no gaps. But in repurpose.io, my video was in the middle. There were gaps, blank spaces at the top and bottom. So it didn't look aesthetic. There was all these titles there. So many people believe in repurpose.io. It's actually pretty famous. That's why I went for this one. But for me and my requirements, it didn't match. Okay. It took, when I clicked on podcast as the input, it took all the podcast episodes that were there even in my unlisted version. So I lost a lot of minutes because I didn't want to transcribe every episode on my podcast, but it kind of takes like bulk. It's for bulk. This is definitely for people like Alex Hormozy, right? Put in your podcast. It takes all your 100 episodes and you got 1,000 hours of content, whatever. So it didn't suit me and my requirement. Okay. So I'm only sharing my personal requirements, my personal journey on what worked for me and why it didn't work for me because I couldn't customize it for my specific one. Now, this is for people so the tools that we saw till now is more for people who are recording videos, who don't mind doing webinars, who have a podcast to repurpose, masterclasses, so things like that. Now, If you're somebody, I don't want to show myself on camera, I don't want to do this for faceless stuff, these two are your Bible. So Syllabi.io is pretty much to find trending content in your niche. Okay. It'll really, really help you to find the keyword research, what your customers ask, and also create video avatars. You know how these banking apps have all these tutorials and everything. These days, we are so warmed up to the idea of a bot answering the questions. Pretty much every website has an AI bot integrated. So Syllabi does one extra work of doing the market research for you, identifying the trending contents, and also you can actually create it with the video editor. I actually like Synthesia. Okay. So as I said, you can create your marketing message with ChatGPT, take that prompt, put it into Synthesia, and this is what most of the companies use. And you can create an avatar what you want. It can be of any ethnic origin, any country, any skin color, any voice, any accent. You can also design your own avatar. Like I can have my face and change it to a Priya bot, and I can feed it my voice. So other than Synthesia, there's also this very advanced tool called HeyGen. Sorry, I missed that when I did the slide. HeyGen is another one which actually creates these personalized ones. So this is an AI generated one. How realistic does that look? Synthesia is good for templated, already available AI avatars. I don't think it does your personalized, customized avatars as precise and clear like HeyGen. HeyGen is really, really top notch when it comes to customizing your own avatars. So if you're doing like one of my clients, she's planning to launch a course. She does not want to do the entire video. So she's spending money on, because she's like, with thousands of my dollars. So she's a financial planner. So she's like, I don't want to be spending money as time recording these courses, multiple things. I want to get the script, put it to my bot, and the bot can record the course because it's me. It looks like me. You know, there's always a trust factor. So, and I think it's not a bad idea at all. I'm all for it. And she's creating it as we speak. So you can get very creative with your webinars, your sales funnels, your website contents, your marketing messages. So lots of things what you can use HeyGen for. I'll let you think about it and go right. Okay. That's it. Okay. So that's the last one on the dot, 11 o'clock. Look at me. So proud of myself today. All right. So like I said, for people who attended the live, I've got your emails and I'm going to be sending you the link, not me. So from the business HQ, they'll send you the link to this one, or you can access the QR code to access the one. But obviously the recording will not be there because I'm just recording it as we speak. And then the recorded version will also go on the portal so that we can send you that link as well. But this will give you access to the webinar that I spoke about. I've broken it down into smaller pieces of content so it's easily digestible. There's case study on how you can price your softwares and things. There are a ChatGPT prompt workbook. There is a course planner because I'm all about digital products. If you want to launch a course in your niche, just work through the planner and social media marketing. Literally, there's no reason for you to not take actions. So please take action and make your time worthwhile. We live in such an exciting time. I really, really feel I don't want you to miss out on that. So yeah, feel free to scan the QR code and just key in your details and you'll have immediate access to that. That's all set up. The recording will go in there as well when it's done. And yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay. Yeah, I know 2 hours is really not enough, isn't it? I have to do a session just on the tools I use. There are so many other tools I use even other than this one. Even Google Forms, I've started using another form with AI integrated to it. So it's got logic to it. When people say that, then this part of the quiz opens up and survey. So every element, like I had a very boring Google onboarding form. So I'm like, I have to change it now. So I think it also steps up your game. Once you start implementing different things, you get so much more clarity because you save a lot of time. You save so much time. And when you have these options, somebody to actually bounce ideas and give you ideas. If you're lonely, if you're single, I've got husband and kids, but still I talk to ChatGPT a lot. But if you're single, that's another advantage to bounce ideas and do a lot of things. Okay. Oh, no problem. All right. So you'll definitely get the recording. Martin, don't worry. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. My journey begins. Yes, I think for most of you, I'm pretty sure this would have at least set the foundation right with all the information and just the amount of opportunities that you can use these various tools. That's the whole point, because I know I can't cover everything in 2 hours, but I hope I did justice in giving you all the foundation on where AI is at the moment and introduction to content creation and how you can apply it. This is pretty much a multiple day workshop. If I do a multiple day workshop, I'm sure you will get so much value out of it, but I think it's a good start today. Any feedback, questions, suggestions? Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. Thanks, Blade. Thank you so much. Any other suggestions to improve or anything else you wanted to listen more of, less of? Oh, that was not required. Maybe you should focus more on this. This is literally me getting feedback. So I'm doing one face-to-face in Brisbane next month. So if you're in Brisbane, please come along. But yeah, I'm happy for any feedbacks. Literally, I thought 2 hours I'll spend for the session and then half hour for Q&A if anybody has questions. But looks like, yeah, I'm happy to stay. But if you're done, I truly, truly value your time on a Wednesday morning. Spending time with me. It's hard to give feedback when I'm bussing. Thank you. Was walk the walk, literally, right? That's why I'm like, I'm not teaching anything that I've never used. I use this day in and out, and I've got a team of 19 who use it. We're growing to a team of 100. So I'm getting my systems in place so I can give better resources for my team to perform better. It's not about them clocking 20 hours for me. That's not what I want. You can work 2 hours and do the entire 20 hours of work. That's all I want. It's all about efficiency. Cool. Another tab with tools you mentioned. Okay. I'll be giving you a list of Google Doc with all the links to all these tools as well. So that will also be fed into the portal. So make sure you check your spam, because most of the times it lands in spam, the learn module, the link. So you'll get a login link. You can set up your username and password. And once you log in, you should have access to it. I'll keep the QR code page once again, just in case you all want to scan and try and get access. If you can't, let me know and I can sort this out for you. Please keep my email to keep me posted on. Okay, definitely will do. Thanks everyone for your time. If you don't have any questions, I'll definitely keep you all posted with the recording. And yeah, I'll see you all in another workshop. Thanks everyone. See you next time.
I truly hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it just for you. Please follow Pivot to Thrive podcast on the platform you're listening to right now. It would mean the world to me if you could leave a review, and I'm so excited to see you on the next episode. Sending you loads of love, positive and healing vibes your way. Stay blessed.